Welcome to another episode of Nailed It with Curtis Warden, sponsored by GetRealWealth.com, Steve Davis's academy. And then that's my company, Urban Restoration. You're listening to Nailed It, and that's my buddy Chris Funk right there.
Howdy.
The Grand Master Gas Passer.
That's right.
Yeah, he is he's the bee's knees when it comes to wholesaling. He's been in the industry for a long time. And, man, the other episode we did was fire.
That was good, but now we're just warmed up, and I've had some coffee, so I'm going to be, really letting it fly now. So
you're going to
yeah.
you're going to let them all hang out.
I'm going to try, whatever I got,
Okay.
Put it out there for you.
All right, let's go back. For the people who don't know you, bring us up to speed from not from birth, but from college.
Chris Funk, been out on parole 6 months. I'm clean and sober, trying not to go back.
How long have you been sober?
15 years.
15 years.
Yeah. So I gave it up when I was 25, and I'm 40 now. So
yeah. Living in your mom's
living in mom's basement.
In their driveway.
Living in the driveway in a van.
Yeah.
Started doing that after I failed out of college in around the 2002 mark, 2003. Got into installing ceramic tile, not as a business, but as the actual installer.
Because of how did you meet that guy?
I think it was my mom's boyfriend at the time owned a tile company.
Yeah.
And so my mom said, sure, you can fail out of college and come home and live here, and you're going to work for this guy, and you're going to lay ceramic tile for 12 hours a day. So that's kind of an encouragement for me.
Tell everyone what changed you. You went to the Rich Club and you met some Yahoo?
Yeah, so I went to the Rich Club, and I met a guy named Sean Sherry, the Dependable Renovators at the time. And he worked
before Rent Ready Contractors.
Yeah, before that. That's right. This is back in the day. This was like 2004, and he was looking for a project manager at the time, and I was wanting to learn the rehab business, and I said, okay, I'll come work for you, but I'm only learning this because. So I'm only working here because I want to learn this.
And you straight up told him this.
Yeah, and I'm going to bounce afterwards and go start my own company flipping houses. And he said, that's fine. Give me a solid year. And we'll do this thing. And I did, and he fired me on my 1 year anniversary.
And you made 28 plus car?
25 grand. Oh, yeah, 28,000 salary. And plus like a cell phone allowance or something like that.
Yeah. And then you, the last month that you were working there, you did a wholesale deal.
I did a big one.
Yeah.
I did a $25,000 wholesale assignment the last month that I was with Sean. And so when he fired me, it was kind of like, okay, I got proof of concept now. Wholesaling works. I can make an entire year's salary just negotiating a deal without having to show up to a job site at 4 a.m. or 8 a.m. I used to sleep at the job site because the traffic was so bad.
Yeah.
And I'd get home at 10, 11 o'clock at night, and then I'd have to wake up at 4 a.m. to drive back out through all that traffic to get to the job site by 6. So I finally started sleeping at the job sites.
But sometimes when you want it bad enough, you'll just do whatever you got to do.
That's right. I knew I had to learn rehab. I couldn't be a real estate investor without understanding.
Do you know how many people have slept in their car? It's a lot more than in Houston, Texas.
Well, I already slept in the car because I was living in the van in the driveway at my mom's house. It was like, the van's going to be parked here or parked there. Might as well park it over here.
Yeah, but a lot of people before this past week would have been like, oh, he's crazy sleeping in a car. Now there's a lot of people who slept in a van outside of their mom's driveway or their own driveway.
Oh, God bless them. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty tough.
Man, I was in La Quinta Inn.
Were you really?
Yeah. I mean, Kendra's place made us go to. They had like 5 hotels blocked. Mm-hmm. And we were the lucky ones in the lottery that got La Quinta Inn off of 290.
Nice. Swanky.
Oh, gosh. It smelled so bad.
Oh, no.
We lost power at 11 o'clock at night.
So you guys just all in the La Quinta lobby?
So we left.
Oh, okay.
We left, and I was like, screw this. I'm going to drive you to work every day. I ain't staying here. This is, like, horrible.
Yeah.
They had pushed into the those little box air conditioning units.
Oh, yeah.
They had... Downy softener sheets to try to mask the secondhand scent of smoke. And I called up there. I was like, do you guys have a non-smell of smoke room? He's like, sorry, sir. We don't inspect every room. I'm like, oh, that's great. Do you know if someone like jizzed all over these sheets? I mean,
Great, let me light a cigarette then.
Should I inspect this one myself?
We'd prefer you not, sir.
Cheers, La Quinta.
Good old
So-
Quinta.
Yeah. So you met with Tom Berry this last week.
Yep, I saw Tom yesterday, actually.
Yeah, and and then I had him on the podcast. He's doing the class that changed your life, which then turned around and changed my financial life, which was finance 5 years to freedom.
Great class. He's going to do it again in March, I think. March or April.
Okay,
Really, really good class.
When we didn't record, but I thought I was recording the first show.
Yeah.
You said something great, and it's the only time you said anything great. But
I can't even remember it. So
you
that's
said
really screwed.
what I can see in my head, I can hold in my hand. Okay.
Yeah.
And so 5 years to freedom, your goal was what? What was your big unattainable goal that you were trying to reach?
I wanted to have a red Ferrari. That was my big goal. I wanted to have a red Ferrari 458 Italia.
Yeah. And then we had these conversations on the phone where you were like, Curtis, did you know that I could buy the Ferrari and drive it around for 3,000 miles and then turn around and sell it to somebody in Podunk, Indiana
Yeah.
for almost the same amount that I paid for it?
No, you got it backwards. You buy it in Podunk, Indiana.
Okay.
From a doctor.
And then you sell it in Miami.
And you sell it in Miami
Yeah.
or somewhere that's like a high dollar place where they can't get enough of them in and they pay premium.
Do you know? Okay, I don't know if most people know this, but do you know this? You could walk in today with all the money that you have, which I don't know, probably Chris is worth like several $100 million.
Billions.
Billions. He and Elon Musk both bought Bitcoin.
That's right. That's our secret. Don't take it.
Okay. So you could walk in with all the Bitcoin that you have, okay, or whatever, which you don't have any Bitcoin.
No.
But you could walk in with $100 million, be a professional athlete, whatever. Your name could be Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
Elon cannot get a Ferrari brand new.
That's right.
Okay, tell people about that.
Yeah, you got to be
You have to join the membership.
right. You have to already own one.
Yes. So what people do in order to be in the membership is you have to buy a used Ferrari first and then register yourself as being in the club.
Right.
Then you're allowed to trade up, which is how most people go into getting Ferraris. They buy an old one, which is why this was a solid business model that I didn't even know about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Ferraris go up in value, believe it or not.
Yeah, they do.
Some of the times they do.
Yeah.
Especially the older ones.
Yeah, I saw a Lamborghini the other day for like $68,000 from like 1998. I was thinking, golly.
Still 68,000.
68 grand.
Over 20 years old.
Yeah. Almost a classic now.
And it's probably starting to go up.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's almost as crazy as Stripes driving around in a $60,000 Honda Prelude.
Good times. That's right. That's good stuff.
A green Honda Prelude.
Oh, that's right. He loves those old 1980s
his Acura.
teeny boy cars.
Yeah, his Acura, whatever.
Yeah.
Fastback.
Integra.
Integra.
Yeah.
Integra Type R or something like
Those
that.
are real popular with the 16-year-old guys. Back in high school.
Yeah.
They love those
Yeah.
kind of things. And they drop them down and put the coffee can exhaust pipes and make them buzz around town. And I never understood it.
How many wholesale deals have you done?
I don't wholesale that much anymore.
I know, but how many do you, if you could go back and look, how many do you think you've done?
A few hundred, probably.
What is the biggest difference between wholesaling when you started, wholesaling today?
Competition.
Okay, what about it?
A lot more of it.
What's the most difficult part of the competition then?
Pricing your offer. I got blown out a week ago by $40,000.
Wow.
It was just a referral guy called me. He's like, "Hey, you bought one from me last year. My friend's got one. You want to buy it?" "Yeah, sure." "Hey, I'll give you $100. It's not going to work for us." "Okay, cool. Why not?" Price. "Oh, okay. You got other offers?" "Yeah, we got $140. "You got $140? He's like, "Yeah, can you come up?" And I'm like, "Yeah, not to $140. Crazy.
Yeah. Can you believe how people are making money on 0% profit?
Well, what happens too is that you get a guy that makes the offer of $140 verbally, and then by the time he comes out and sees the house, it's $120, and then by the time he gets an inspection and an appraisal, it's $100.
So how do you combat that?
Well, there's two ways. You try to explain that process to them up front.
Which they didn't want to hear
They
anyway.
don't want to hear. Or you play dirty and you adopt that process, which I kind of have a hard time doing. But I have done it in the past in a transparent way. I say, listen, I get it. You're getting competitive offers at 140. And I can make that offer, but here's going to be my stipulations. This big earnest money, I can't put that because I'm going to try to get you this price. But number one, I got to have some flexibility. Number two, I may have to bring in a partner to close this. So it may not be my name signing on the line at closing. Are you okay with that? Okay, great. Number three, I might have to get it inspected and appraised, and this number may change.
My favorite line is, I will give you the number that you want, but you have to give me the interest rate I want.
I like that too.
Yeah. You have to give me, I'm going to give you your price, but you have to give me the terms.
Yeah.
But you can't have both.
And I've done a lot of deals like that where they were stuck on a number. The house was paid off. It was an inherited property. Nobody lived there. And I said, look, if you've got to have $50,000 and I'm at 24 and the best offer you've had is 27, I'll give you 50,000. But I'm going to give it to you in 100 installments of $500. And they look at me and they go, really? I'm like, yeah, $500 a month, you'll get a check from me. And when I send you the last check, I want you to release and let me have the deal.
Yeah. So I was with Gloria Gutierrez. Do you know Gloria?
I don't think so.
Gloria used to work over with the Core Group with Ryan and I when we started our brokerage.
Oh, right on.
And Gloria she was with White Picket at first, then left, then came over to us. And she's been wholesaling and kicking ass ever since.
Nice.
She's the only person I've ever done a wholesale deal with where I've closed 4 deals from her, and I've never once dropped earnest money. And Kendra asked her,
I love that.
Kendra said, why did you not make him bring earnest money? She goes, because it's Curtis.
Because it's Curtis.
Because when I
I
give
know
you,
he doesn't have it.
he doesn't have it, but he'll find it.
It's Curtis. I know he doesn't have the money.
No, she's like, I just know he'll close.
There you go.
The relationship matters, right? Yeah. In this industry, relationship and trust. And I just think, man, if most people relied on trust, I think that's the biggest thing that's missing in this industry. One, the competition is so fierce that everyone is lying about the price that they can pay, and then they turn around and come back and they do and let me lower.
Well, and sometimes they do wholesale that house at 140 to somebody at 147, and that guy loses money. And I've looked back on wholesale deals I've done. Some of my buyers have lost money. I was asking Tom about that yesterday. I said, Tom, he owns a lending company. He sees all the deals. I said, Tom, what percentage of wholesale deals, wholesale acquired properties with an intention of a flip, do not exit as a flip profitably? In other words, they have to exit as a rental, or they have to go into foreclosure, or they sell it at a loss. What percentage, or break even? And he's like, oh, it's a big percentage. Big percentage.
In the 5 years to freedom, where did East Whitney come into play?
East Whitney was already acquired when I took that class, but East Whitney was the foundational monthly cash flow machine that fundamentally changed how I do business and what I do. I went from a wholesaler living on wholesale fees to a property owner living on revenue profits from the rent.
When you took over East Whitney, when you bought East Whitney, bring us through East Whitney. How did you come about it? Because this is the deal that really changed your financial life.
It changed everything.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Everything. So East Whitney was 70 units, individual homes that were all platted together, all master metered for water, individually for electric. But it's like a little apartment community.
In the middle of the food desert of Independence Heights.
Independence Heights, really tough neighborhood. And back in 2011, it was even tougher.
Yeah.
And so
now it's so tough it has an Orange Theory in front of it.
Oh my gosh,
And a Whole Foods 365. You don't want to fuck around with people at Whole Foods.
I'm telling you, Starbucks.
Those Karens right there, those Karens will eat your lunch.
Especially if you don't have a mask on. They'll get you pretty quick.
Yeah. Orange Theory and Whole Foods.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Starbucks on every corner. And, the tenants want you to come change their light bulbs for them and all that kind of junk now. But at the time, this was a bank-owned REO 70-unit complex. And the banker was a real character, and he said, James Coleman, he said, well, Chris, we got about 20 people living there. None of them are paying any rent. I think they're all doing drugs and prostitution. How much you want to pay? And I said, well, probably like 10 a door or something, like 7 a door or something like that. And he's like, oh, no. You don't understand. We repoed this thing, and we got, $3 million in debt on it. We need to get that back. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, good. Just go back in time to when you sold it and finance it for $3 million and undo the deal. It's the only way you're going to get the $3 million back. And he said, well, make us an offer. We're willing to finance it. And I said, oh, great. Okay, so here's the deal. If you're willing to finance it, there's 70 units. I'm going to rent them for $600 a piece. That's $42,000. Take half for expenses. That's $21,000. I can pay you 10. And me and my partner get 5 apiece. And he's like, yeah, that makes sense, but what are you paying? What's the price? What are the terms? What are the interest rates? So I just backed into all that. And I said, okay, here's what you're going to get. You're going to get nothing down. You're going to get $10,000 a month for 25 years, whatever it is. The interest rate's going to be 2.9. And then after I close, you're going to give me 2 years of interest only. And then every time I come to you every month for money, you're going to give me $100,000 for 6 months. Because I need money to fix it. So not only am I put nothing down, but I'm also going to come get the fix-up money from you on a draw schedule. So we started putting all the rehab on a credit card. And at the end of the month, we'd pull a draw from the bank, pay the credit card off. So we rehabbed all 70, got them all leased up. And then we were off and running. And it cash flowed. And
how many houses did you have before East Whitney? Or how many doors?
I had a fair amount. Probably 15 or something like that. But it was me managing everything. So here's what really changed.
Yeah, this is cool.
Okay, my dad always jokes about going to the car show because I used to wear this Bluetooth, earpiece.
Yeah.
And we'd go to the car show on a Sunday, and I just put abandoned signs out for rent on the 4-plex, the 6-plex, and one of our single families. And so all day long, he would hear me touch the Bluetooth earpiece and go, "This is Chris. Yes, it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath for $795 per month with an equal deposit, and the application's online. If you go to lpph.info, and you can fill out everything there. Yep, sure. The lockbox code is 0918. Feel free to text me or call me back if you have any questions. Okay, thanks. Boom. This is Chris. How can I help you? That's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath efficiency apartment that's $495 per month with a $295 deposit. And it went like that all day. When I got East Whitney, I got staff. I never talked to another tenant ever again. That was a game changer for me. Tenants would move in and move out, pay rent, get work orders done, and I wouldn't even know about it.
How did it change your cash flow?
It massively increased it. I started pulling $5,000 a month off that property from day one. As soon as we got it stabilized and leased, I started pulling $5,000.
Because you had a property manager?
I had an employee that managed the property, correct. Yeah, and then I also had maintenance staff.
So you would say to somebody who is, I don't know.
It's like going from self-employed to owning a business.
Right.
Suddenly you're not the guy having to cook the meals, cater the tables, wash the dishes. You're the manager. You show up and manage the process.
And you're saying
you
can make more money doing that because you're not divided doing 6 other things.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So after I got that thing running, after 6 months, it took about 6 months to rehab it and get it up. Then I took 6 months off, traveled the world, went to Europe, did the whole party thing.
And your dad went with you?
That was the Brazil trip.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you're right. We went to Brazil. Went down to that, and I think I did the Europe trip later. Took my dad, had a great time. And then came back, and maybe about a year after that, I thought, well, shoot, I got all this free time now. Because this doesn't take full time to manage a property manager. She's over there leasing the units, doing stuff. She didn't need you. And so then I started to wholesale again. Built a website, started doing wholesale deals. Then I started buying some rentals here and there. And then was like, screw that. I'm going to start riding the mountain bike a lot. So I got back into competitive cross-country cycling and mountain bike racing and all that. So I'm kind of cyclical. I'm laser focused on one thing at a time usually, and so and then I kind of got out of that for a little bit and got back into wholesaling real strong, and I did bought 40 houses one year. It was just a lot of fun. But yeah, once you've got your gas and your groceries covered with the cash flow of a property, it opens up this whole new world for you. It's like your boss walking in and saying, "You don't have to come anymore, but we're going to keep sending the check." The same paycheck you've been getting every 2 weeks is going to keep happening, but we only need you to come in like on Fridays or something, and maybe once a month for a big meeting.
How difficult is it to let go of that control and not come in?
When you've got things you really want to be doing, it's easy.
That's kind of the key, right?
The hard part is deciding how much control you need to maintain to keep the integrity of the business. Because you do have to have control of the business, but you don't need to be there 40 hours
To be
a week.
controlling.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've got to control the business. You've got to be the captain of the ship, but you don't have to do the work of the day-to-day operations. But you've got to supervise it. You've got to spot check it. You've got to roll in when nobody's expecting. You've got to ask for the invoice. You've got to compare numbers and just spot check to make sure that everything is working the way that you set it up.
You don't have the red Ferrari, so what did the Ferrari change to?
Turned into an airplane.
Okay.
I love Ferraris. Always loved Ferraris. The history of the company is amazing. They started making racing cars, and they were just a racing company, and then they were investing their profits from racing into more race cars, and then they eventually sold one of their race cars to like a regular guy, and then the guy's like, "I want to buy the next one that y'all decide to throw away, and the next one, and the next one," and they're like, "Really? Y'all want to buy race cars? Maybe we can also make race cars for people." And then they were like, "Yeah, let's just keep racing to make money so that we can, or let's keep selling cars to the public to make money to keep go racing." I'm like, what a cool company is that? So I've always loved Ferrari. But I like airplanes. I've always loved airplanes. And so I wound up getting an airplane in, oh man, it's almost like the 1 year mark. I think, gosh, maybe even I think I saw that airplane a year ago today for the first time. Then I flew back a week later and bought it and flew it home from Vegas. That was best day of my life in recent times. When I shook that guy's hand and wired him the money and then hopped in with my mechanic and flew that thing from Vegas all the way to Houston, I was on cloud 9. That was just the most amazing feeling in the world because the airplane was everything I wanted.
Right.
It was super high performance, which was a lot for a new pilot. I've only been a pilot for 1 year at that time. But it wasn't over the top. It was something I could learn to fly, but it was, much shorter wings, much more powerful engine, fully aerobatic. It'll do loops, rolls, spins, half Cubans, the whole bit. I think it'll pull up to 6 Gs. So it's a hell of a little airplane. And
it's basically like Top Gun.
It is. You can do all the maneuvers. You can be in an inverted dive, in an engine, 4G inverted dive with a big 28.
Are you disappointed that they pushed back Top Gun 2?
Oh, Joe's so pissed.
Yeah, I was too.
Tom Cruise put on his Twitter, he's like, "Guys, I've been waiting 34 years to make this movie," and I tweeted "Me too, Tom. Me too."
Yeah,
I've been waiting, Tom.
Yeah, we were waiting on your little ass to quit jumping up on the couch
yeah, exactly.
and make that movie
Get
again.
the couch, get back in the damn thing, man. Start making movies again.
You know what's hilarious about that movie is if you look at Tom Cruise and then you look at his love interest.
Yeah.
And you look at those two in today's pictures. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
She did not age well.
No.
It's not a fine wine.
I think that's why he keeps changing them. Is he married now? What's he doing now?
I don't know. But I don't think he ever dated or married the girl who was his love interest in Top Gun.
Oh, Kelly McGillis?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, she didn't age well.
No, she did not age well.
Well, she was never all that hot to begin with.
And going back and re-looking at the movie, she wasn't
all that hot.
She wasn't. She was just available.
Yeah.
She was pretty much like one of the only girls at the bar.
Yeah, she's like a 7. Just your standard kind of 7 blonde. Just not ugly, not unattractive, but she's no superstar.
Yes. I love Top Gun.
But she was so good in that movie.
She was great.
She was so good.
Great. She was so great.
Yeah.
That movie was great.
It was. I still watch it to this day.
I do too. Well, what about at the beginning when it's dun dun? Almost like the
goosebumps right now.
I know.
Just you saying it, man.
I mean, in just that dusk.
Yeah.
The as the sun is setting and going down.
And all the
And you
quotes.
see the MiGs.
Oh, my God.
gosh.
The quotes were so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still use those quotes on girls as I'm leaving.
I
Anyway.
bet you do. Well, Lieutenant, if you were directly above him, how could you see him? Because I was inverted. It was wonderful. Yeah, that movie shaped me. I used to keep the video VHS cassette in my backpack.
I did that of the Houston Rockets
Yeah.
first championship run.
Nice. Yeah, I used to take it to school with me because I was, in third grade or something.
Yeah.
In 1987. And then eventually, because I never knew when one of my friends, I'd be going to their house afterwards with a babysitter or something, and someone might say, "You want to watch a movie?" And I'd go, "Oh, yeah, I got Top Gun right here." And I'd pull it out of the backpack. But eventually the tape quit working because my crayons were in that same pouch, and the
Yeah.
crayon dust would get all over the... so eventually that VHS had to be retired. But
That is crazy.
I guess Tom's to blame for my aviation passion today.
Okay, so how many people can fit inside of your airplane?
Well, it's got 2 seats and a baggage compartment. So if you can put your legs behind your head, I could stick in the baggage compartment.
Okay.
So 3.
3
Essentially.
people total.
But you'd have to weigh less than 50 pounds.
I do not weigh less
And
than
put your
50 pounds.
Heads back. Legs
Yeah.
behind there. So.
What was it like taking Will Denker in your airplane for the first
No,
time?
I didn't take Will in my airplane. I took him in Guillermo's airplane. Guillermo's got a badass little, a Turbo Lance. He's got a fun little 6-seater Turbo Lance. And we went up to Lake Travis for the week, or for the day or whatever, and got to have lunch. And yeah, Will was like, "Why is it bumping all around?" I'm like, "That's turbulence, Will. That's the air. The sun is heating the Earth's surface at different temperatures and causing updrafts." And he's like, "I don't like it." Because, it's a tiny little airplane. So.
What most people don't know about you is you are a great impressionist.
Oh, I do a few good impressions from time
Yes.
to time. Yeah.
You have a great impression of Eddie Gant.
Oh, yeah, I do have a good one of Eddie. That's right.
Do, for the audience, just so we can have some grins and giggles, do Eddie Gant up inside of the Houston Texans grill, and then he sees you in the crowd.
Oh, yeah, that's the classic one. Well, I usually like to impersonate his beer belly, too, so I'll stick my hands in my shirt and I'll go like this. And Eddie's, I hope Eddie sees this. Please, do it. All right, who's wholesaling out there in the crowd? Who's doing wholesale deals? Assignments. I see one person out there right now. Chris Funk. There he is. That's right. I see him out there. Who's doing wholesale in Sunnyside? Who's doing wholesale? I know Chris Funk does wholesale in Sunnyside. That's where he met his girlfriend. Oh yeah. I know Chris Funk is down there, aren't you, bud? Yeah. That's Eddie.
I'm gonna see Eddie tomorrow night because we do our podcast. Oh my gosh, yeah,
Love Eddie.
I've got to.
Such a fun guy.
Eddie, like 1,500 doors.
Oh, is that what he's got now?
Oh, dude's
Get
incredible.
outta here.
He's a monster.
Single family homes.
Single family
Insane.
and duplexes.
Insane.
Yeah, but now Eddie's big deal is he's got these like sports like chicken places, like
that's
a
right.
wing deal,
Yeah.
something like that in Mississippi.
Wow. We got to do something with all that money.
I guess you do.
I guess don't have any more room under the mattress, so he's have to start buying chicken places or something.
Something.
Well, good for him.
So what's next on the funk machine in order to nail it in 2021?
Yeah, so I kind of set some short-term goals for 2021. Being out of the wholesale game for a while is fun because it allows me to do other things. But what I like about being active and doing deals, because like being a landlord and stuff, it's like a clerical, managerial. It's not very sexy. It doesn't get me excited. But chasing a deal, putting something together, it keeps you sharp. Mm-hmm. You got to think on your feet, negotiate, talk to sellers, solve title problems. And I like that. And I also feel the need to keep replenishing my portfolio because as a landlord, you get a house that floods, it pisses you off, you sell it. You get a foreclosure, the guy winds up paying you off. Owner finance, So over time, your portfolio, you might lose a few. So I want to keep adding some properties back in, good deals. Plus, it's nice to have big chunks of cash. I've gotten very spoiled living on cash flow, and that's nice. But when you need $100,000 to go buy a toy, it has to come out of savings. So I want to start replenishing my portfolio and replenishing cash by doing some deals this year. So I've set myself a goal. If I can do 75 grand in the first quarter or in the first half of the year, something like that, then I'm going to buy myself a fun little sports car and a jet ski, and I'm going to stick it up in Austin. I got a little place up there, and so that's kind of my thing. Is like I want to start doing deals again, get more active.
But it's just because you want toys.
Yeah, it's not that I need to do it. It's
Right.
just there's so many benefits from it, you know. So yeah, I'm going to reward myself with a couple of toys, and so that's kind of how I attach the mental side of it. Because like anybody else, go to the office, I don't want to fucking mail postcards and talk to people, and then I think, no, you do, because you're going to want to have this super fun summer where you're flying up to Austin, you're riding the jet ski, you're having a blast, going on the mountain bike. I also want to build a little hot tub and a deck, you know, and so I probably need about 50 grand to buy all these toys. And so every time I wake up and think, just sleep in a little bit, not do the work, I think to myself, no, do the work, go get it, you know. And I could go buy the stuff, but it's, I don't know, I think it's just kind of a mental trick, you know, you use to motivate yourself. Okay, if I do this, I'm going to reward myself with that.
So that's your short-term goal.
Short-term
toys.
goal, right? And then long-term goals, you know, you get all kinds of different plans for that, but
Yeah.
But to me, I've got to be able to visualize it.
Awesome.
It's real important. Yeah.
Well, you have anything to leave anybody with today?
Go do some deals.
How would you market differently, or how are you marketing differently today than you did?
I'm not doing anything different.
Same thing.
I don't do bandit signs anymore.
Ah.
I don't do those. That's just too much work and too much hassle. But the same kind of stuff still works. There's texting now. People do that. I've done some of that. It's hit or miss. Direct mail, internet, cold calling, texting. I don't know. I'll probably just do direct mail.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast twice. The first one we didn't record. That was really epic too.
That was good.
Anyway, this is another show of Nailed It with Curtis Warden. That's my company, Urban Restoration. Call us if you've got some deals that you want us to buy.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. Have a good week.